I found this in my dad's house when I was clearing things out, and it's a box of tapes of him singing. I've not been able to listen to too many, but this kind of sums things up.
A voice rediscovered, a life remembered here in Manchester. Jonathan lost his dad Daryl in March, one of the very first recorded COVID deaths. 6 months have passed, but it's no time at all.
For me, it's like the calm after a tsunami. I'm not quite sure what's happened. My entire world has changed completely, and I'm just sitting there, but the world is a completely different place.
With still an unanswered question. As Jonathan left the hospital room and removed his PPE, his dad called for him again, but he wasn't allowed back in. The goodbye was incomplete.
He just called my name, but I couldn't go back at that point, so I'll never know what he was asking for. I can't come to terms with that.
Stories of loss, stories of survival. Nina applauded as she left Preston Hospital with a whole new perspective on the disease. Because Nina works here, the COVID nurse became the patient on her own ward.
At first, I'm just comparing myself to my patient. How bad is it, you know? And the fact that I want to be at peace, whatever. Whether I'm going to die from it, whether I'm going to recover from it, I want to be at peace at all time. I had the privilege of having my colleagues as visitors, whether it was night, whether it was day. I could tell that some of them were worried, thinking, what is she doing here? But I got that in mind, and always just being myself, laughing, smiling. It's going to be okay. I've prepared the machine. It's 14 and 6.
Now back at work, Nina's hope is that she's even better placed to help COVID patients in the months ahead.
So you wish that because you went through that experience in your own personal level, it will help you to look after a patient with COVID a bit better. I've seen so many of them dying from the illness, and it wasn't necessarily pretty.
I've been ill for 6 months. I'm still disabled by my illness. I have to go back to bed about 4 or 5 times a day. It's like my metabolism is crippled.
A walk and fresh air for Paul. Exercise he once took for granted here in Liverpool, now more difficult. The disease he'd been studying, now a very real part of his own life.
I actually thought, this is it, Paul, maybe you're actually dying. And day 20 came, day 30 came, day 40 came, and I was still unwell.
Paul suffers what's become known as long COVID, a part of the pandemic picture that's still emerging. And as an epidemiologist himself, he just wants to understand.
People should be researching this, recruiting us, identifying who we are, and more importantly, giving us some practical help. Us long haulers have been ill on and off for 6 months, and we all think maybe tomorrow will be better. Maybe the next day we will wake up and the disease and the condition will have gone.